Everyone knows the story about Joseph, right? They even made a play out of it. When I was in fourth grade, we were in the play Jacob and his sons, right? Yosef or Joseph, he was Jacob's favorite son. I remember doing that when we were in fourth grade. And everyone knows this story. It's a famous, famous story. But the Lubavitcher Rebbe taught me a perspective that is something that opened up my eyes to a whole different way of looking at life. Think about it from the human point of view. Here is Joseph. As a child, he loses his mother. Then what happens to him next? He gets sent by his father to go visit his brothers to see how they're doing. And then they take him, they put him in a pit. It's filled with scorpions and snakes. They take him out of the pit. They sell him to one group of people. They sell him to another group of people, till finally he winds up down in Egypt. In Egypt, he winds up being a servant in someone's house. Then what happens to him? He gets accused of this terrible crime with the master's wife, something that he totally didn't do, and he gets thrown into jail. Imagine the jails back then. I don't think they looked like the jails today. They were probably very, very not appropriate, very not nice places. So think about this type of person. How would any of us feel if, God forbid, any of us ever felt any of these types of agonies and any of this type of pain in our lives? We would probably become very introverted, very angry at the world, very sensitive about every little thing that happens in our lives, and just hating life. What's the story of Joseph? What's the deeper story of Joseph? The deeper story of Joseph is that one morning he wakes up and he meets two people that are in jail that he sees all the time. The baker and the butler. And what does he see? He sees two individuals, two people, not from his family, not from his people, not from his anything. And he notices that they're upset. And he says, "Good morning" to them. "Tell me, what's wrong? Maybe I could help you. You had a dream? I can interpret the dream. I could help you. Let me find a way to help you." Incredible story. He wasn't thinking about himself. He was thinking about someone else in the world. Imagine that. Incredible. And as we know, the continuation of the story is that later the butler remembers him 2 years later, tells about Joseph's dream telling skills to Paro, and then Paro invites Joseph to come, and Joseph literally saves the entire civilized world. Figures out there's going to be a famine, figures out that there's going to be a need for food, not just in Egypt, but the whole world. So by one morning, waking up and saying, "How are you?" to another person, he literally saved the world. Now, obviously, he didn't think about, how am I going to save the world today? He thought about just being nice to another person. He stepped out of himself. How about that?